Morning children, welcome back once again. Today we are going to discuss about some numerical questions from chapter 2. The questions are related to the topics Rydberg formula, de Broglie equation and uncertainty principle. Let us do one by one. Children, first of all let us do a question related to Rydberg formula. So children, question is in a hydrogen atom an electron jumps from third orbit to the first orbit. Okay, so let us imagine that this is a hydrogen atom, okay, in which this is the nucleus of the atom, and this is our first orbit, and this is the second orbit, this is the third orbit. Okay, now electron jumps from the third orbit to the first orbit. Okay, so this is the n is equal to 1, this is n is equal to 2, and this is n is equal to 3. Okay children, so how does the electron reaches in the third orbit we have discussed, because after absorbing the energy electrons may jump and go into the higher energy regions, isn't it? And after that they may emit out the energy, or they may radiate energy, and they will come back to the original orbits, isn't it? So here also what happens is in hydrogen atom electron jumps from third orbit to the first orbit. What we have to find out the frequency of the spectral line. So what is the frequency of the spectral line you have to calculate. So first of all let us write the first step 1. In the step 1 we have to do the calculation of the wavelength. If you are able to find out wavelength, you can easily find out the frequency, isn't it? Wavelength of spectral line. According to Rydberg formula, what is Rydberg formula? 1 by lambda is equal to wave number is equal to RH. What is RH? RH is the Rydberg constant into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Okay, and we know that what do we know? We know that RH is equal to, Rydberg formula is 109678 centimeter inverse, and here we have n1 is equal to 1 and n2 is equal to 3. That is electron jumps from the third orbit to the first orbit, correct? Now applying in the formula, 1 by lambda is equal to 109678 into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 3 square. That is equal to 109678 into 1 square is 1 and 3 square is 9. Okay, so we can have 9 minus 1 divided by 9 centimeter inverse, correct? Now this is 1 by lambda, correct? So 1 by lambda is equal to 109678 into 8. 9 minus 1 is 8. 8 divided by 9 cm inverse. Now if it is 1 by lambda, then lambda is equal to 9 divided by 109678 into 8 centimeter. That is equal to 9 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter in terms of meter divided by 10968 into 8. So what I have written is 9 centimeter we have converted into meter. Okay, that is equal to, when you calculate this one, you get 1.0257 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter. Okay, children, this is our lambda we have got. Okay, now what is asked to find out is the frequency of the spectral line. So in the second step, we have to do the step 2. What we have to find? Calculation of frequency of the spectral line. Okay, so second part we have to do is find the frequency of spectral line. So for that we have a formula, C is equal to nu lambda. Okay, this is nu lambda. Write once again, C is equal to nu lambda. Okay, then or you can write nu is equal to C by lambda, and we know that C is equal to, how much is C? C is 3.0 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. That is the velocity of light. Okay, and lambda we have calculated 1.0257 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter. Okay, now applying in the formula, nu frequency is equal to 3.0 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second divided by 1.0257 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter. So children, while calculating this, we get 2.9248 into 10 raised to 15 second inverse, or also you can write it as hertz. Okay, so this is the frequency of the spectral line. Okay, second question, what are the two longest wavelength lines in nanometers in the Lyman series of hydrogen spectrum? So children, the question is what are the two longest wavelength lines in the Lyman series of hydrogen spectrum? Okay, so according to the Rydberg equation, Rydberg-Balmer equation, we have 1 by lambda is equal to R into 1 by n2 square, 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square, that is equal to R into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by n2 square. So the wavelength lambda will be longest when n2 is smallest. So we have to remember the wavelength lambda will be longest when n2 is smallest. Okay, that is n2 is equal to 2 and 3 for 2 longest wavelength lines. For n2 is equal to 2, 1 by lambda is equal to 1.097 into 10 raised to minus 2 nanometer inverse. Nm inverse. We are taking in a nanometers. Okay. So according to the question, I have changed the formula. 1 square minus 1 by 2 square. Okay. Here I am taking a n2 is equal to 2. Okay. So that is equal to 1.097 into 10 raised to minus 2 nm inverse into we will get 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, right? So we get 3 by 4. Okay, that is equal to 8.228 into 10 raised to minus 3 nm inverse, or lambda is equal to, this is 1 by lambda only, so lambda is equal to, inverse you have to find, it will come around, lambda is equal to 121.54 nanometer. What you have to find out? Find the inverse of this 1 by 8.228 into 10 raised to minus 8 you have to calculate. Okay. Now for you have to also find for n2 is equal to 3. So question is what are the two longest wavelengths also. So that's why one we have already find out. Now next find out when n2 is equal to 3. Okay. That is 1 by lambda is equal to, put the same formula, 1.097 into 10 raised to minus 2 nm inverse, that is a nanometer inverse, into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by instead of 2 here you have to take a 3 square. Okay, now that is equal to 1.097 into 10 raised to minus 2 nm inverse into, this will come 8 by 9, that is equal to 9.75 into 10 raised to minus 3 nm inverse, or when you find it lambda inverse you have to find, it will come 102.56 nanometer. Okay children, so this is the one line which we have got longest, and this is another line which we have got, that is n is lambda is equal to 121.54 nanometer and lambda is equal to 102.56 nanometer. These are the two spectral lines. These are the two longest wavelength lines we can say. Okay, what is the question asked? What are the two longest wavelength lines in the Lyman series of hydrogen spectrum? Okay children, let's move on to the next question. Calculate the velocity of an electron in Bohr's orbit, that is Bohr's first orbit of hydrogen atom. Okay, so given that r value, radius is given. Okay, so we know that according to Bohr's theory, we have learned that MVR is equal to, what is MVR? MVR is angular momentum. MVR is equal to NH by 2 pi, or you can write V is equal to NH divided by, this is N only and this is H, NH upon 2 pi mR, and R is given, R is 0.53 into 10 raised to minus 10 meter. Okay, now N is equal to 1 and H we know, H is Planck's constant, 6.623 6.62 you can take, 6.62 into 10 raised to minus 34 kilogram meter square second inverse, and m is mass of electron, that is m is equal to 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 minus 31 kg. And pi value we know, pi is 22 by 7. You can take 3.14 also, no problem. Okay. Now putting up all this in the formula, V is equal to 1 into, what is 1? 1 is n is equal to 1. Okay. So then h is Planck's constant, 6.62 into 10 raised to minus 34 kilogram meter square centimeter inverse divided by 2 into pi value is 22 by 7 into 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. That is the mass of electron into 0.53 into 10 raised to minus 10 m. That is the radius of electron. Okay. So when you calculate this all, we get 2.18 into 10 raised to 6 meter per second. So you must calculate this value by yourself and find the value. Okay, and also find out the answer is coming closer to the value or not. Okay, what is asked to find out the velocity of an electron in Bohr's first orbit of hydrogen atom. So then you can use the formula mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi, from which we are finding out v is equal to then m and r we have taken to the other side. Okay, nh by 2 pi into mr. R is given in the question itself. So putting up in the formula, n is equal to 1. Already given that first orbit, that's why we have taken n is equal to 1. And h is Planck's constant, m is the mass of electron, and pi value you know, that is 22 by 7. You can take a 3.14 also, no problem, or you root 10 also you may take. Okay, and put up in the formula and substitute the values and you will get the answer as velocity of electron in the Bohr's first orbit. Okay children. Children, next we are going to do a question related to de Broglie relationship. Okay, that is our fourth question. Calculate the mass of photon of sodium light having wavelength 5894 angstrom and velocity 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So students, let me repeat the question. Calculate the mass of photon of sodium light having a wavelength 5894 angstrom and velocity 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Here Planck's constant is given as 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 kilogram meter square second inverse. Okay. For numerical calculations, you may use this unit only, kilogram meter square second inverse. Okay. So according to the question, we have lambda is given. Lambda is 5894 angstrom. Okay. Let us convert this one into meter. That will come 5894 into 10 raised to minus 10 meter. Okay, right? Now, according to the de Broglie equation, lambda is equal to h by mv. We know that velocity is given as v is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. And h is already given, Planck's constant. Let me write down 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 kilogram meter square second inverse. Now mass of photon is equal to mass of photon m is equal to h divided by lambda into v, that is velocity, that is equal to H value is Planck's constant is 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 divided by 5894 into 10 raised to minus 10 meter. That is the wavelength given, and v is velocity is given as 3 into 10 raised to 8. That is the speed of light only, meter per second. Okay, while calculating this we get 3.75 into 10 raised to minus 36 kilogram. So children, this is the mass of photon. Okay, what we can say, this is the mass of photon of sodium light. Okay, that is 3.75 into 10 raised to minus 36 kg. Let us move on to the next question. So students, here we have the next question. A proton is accelerated to 1/10 of velocity of light. So the velocity is 1/10 of the velocity of light. Velocity of light is 3 into 10 raised to 8, we know, isn't it? So 1/10 into you have to calculate. If the velocity can be measured with a precision of point plus or minus 0.5%, what must be the uncertainty in position? So we know that according to uncertainty principle given by Heisenberg, isn't it? According to uncertainty principle, the position and momentum of a moving particle we cannot measure with absolute accuracy. We can measure, but exact value we cannot find out, isn't it? That is delta x, that is change in position and change in momentum, in which mass is a constant. That's why we are taken out m into delta v is equal to a constant, that is h by 4 pi, isn't it? So from this we can find out what delta x, that is the question asked, what must be the uncertainty in position? That is delta x is equal to h divided by, this time we shall put the other side, that is 4 pi into m delta v. So first of all, let us write what is there in the question. That is velocity of proton is v is 1/10 of velocity of light, that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. That is equal to, that is 3 into 10 raised to 7 meter per second will come. Okay, so that is the velocity. So delta v, therefore we can find delta v is equal to, delta v is 0.5% of the velocity of light only, isn't it? So that is 0.5% of 3 into 10 raised to 7, that is the velocity of the proton. Okay, so of means multiplication, so we can write 0.5 into 10 raised to 0.5% we can write 10 raised to minus 2, or you can put under 100, isn't it, into 3 into 10 raised to 7. So here comes around 1.5 into 10 raised to 5 will come. Okay children, so this is the change in velocity. Okay, now we know the mass of proton is, you have to learn this one children, 1.675 into 10 raised to minus 27 kilogram it is. Okay, this you have to learn it, otherwise it's not possible to find. Otherwise it will be given along with the questions. Okay, so if it is not given, you must be able to write it. Okay, mass of proton is that is what I have written, mp is equal to 1.675 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg, and we also know that Planck's constant h is equal to 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 kilogram meter square second inverse. These values you must learn by heart, because this becomes easy for you to calculate. Okay, now what we have to find out is actually our delta x, that is the delta x is the uncertainty in the position, that is delta x is equal to, let us put it in the formula, I am not writing again. H is the Planck's constant 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 divided by 4 into 4 pi is 3.14143, you can write exactly, into 1.675 into 10 raised to minus 27 is mass of proton into change in velocity is 1.5 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second. Okay, while calculating we get it as 2.1 into 10 raised to minus 13 m. So children, this is the uncertainty in position, that is delta x of the proton. Okay, so what is the question asked is the proton is accelerated to 1/10 of the velocity of light. So we know the velocity of light is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So 1/10 into velocity of light, we have got the velocity of proton. Then it is also given that if the velocity can be measured with a precision of 0.5%, so we put to calculate the uncertainty in the velocity, that is delta v is equal to 0.5% of that value which we have got here. So we get a change in velocity, that is delta v. Then we know that mass of proton is 1.675 into 10 raised to minus 27 kg, and Planck's constant also we know. So we put all these things in the formula, delta x is equal to h by 4 pi into m delta v. So we got the value as delta x is equal to 2.1 into 10 raised to minus 13 meter. So I hope this is understood to everybody. Okay, practice this type of questions from the refreshers or from the internet, and make sure that you are able to do such type of questions. Thank you students, thank you, and have a nice day.